So hi everyone, nice to see you. I'm Mark. So I'm working for Maryland since 4 to 5 years now, and I'm in charge of sales, mainly Americas, also Spain and UK. And I'll be with you today to present you Maryland range of machine with Frank. Frank, you can introduce yourself.
Yes. So as Mark said, I will be leading, and Mark will be helping me, and we will intervene on the dough processing equipment and the Maryland range, and I'm in charge of Asia in particular.
Yeah, we will introduce the whole team afterwards. So just to remind you, the purpose of this webinar is because there's no trade shows anymore at the moment. It's quite a strange period for everyone, but we're trying to keep contact because we're still working. Our R&D department is still working and has been working hard for the last year. So we have some new machines, new features to present you, and so it's important for you to be aware of such things if you want to advise your customer at the best after. So yeah, we'll show you all that, and some of you already know some machines we're selling, but not the other machines. So the purpose of this webinar was also to show you the whole range of machine we're providing and manufacturing. You can ask any question you want on the Q&A parts of this webinar. We'll reply to all the questions at the end of the webinar. That will be easier for us. So do not hesitate to talk to us. We'll be glad to answer that. Just as for information, we'll also organize other webinars more specific on a different range of machine. So you can still follow us on social networks. We'll be glad to let you know about the future dates we will organize. So now I leave the floor to Frank to start the presentation of the webinar.
Okay, thank you, Mark. So I hope everybody can see the presentation. I already started to share my screen. So the first, the title is pretty, I would say, explanatory. So company is called Meron, that we are dough processing experts. So we focus on dough processing. We would start with introducing you to the program of today. So we will go over a quick company presentation, then an overview of our machines, then scope of supplies, just to remind you how our machines interact with other bakery equipment that we don't do, so you can be clear about the scope of our products. And then we will go into more details about our artisan baking machines, different types, and then afterwards our bread lines, our automatic lines that are more for semi-industrial producers. And then we will have a Q&A session, question and answers. So feel free to send us the questions, and then we will, as Mark said, reply at the end. Of course, to animate the webinar, we have some videos, as Mark said, about the different machines that we produce, so it makes things a little bit clearer for you, either to understand or to actually see what we are doing. So let's start with the company presentation. So as some of you may know, Meron is a family-owned company that started in 1954. It's currently owned by a brother and a sister, Mr. Gérard and Mrs. Badra. Factory is based in France, in Brittany. And our machines are assembled in Brittany by a team of 30 persons, 5 of which are from R&D. What's interesting in our company is that, which is new for us, since last year, that we have a baking lab of 250 square meter that we use for testing our machines and also testing client recipes and showing and making sure that the machines that we do are fitting the client requirements. And also we hold it. It's a great tool for us to hold events when we could have actually events. So we used to do twice a year the baking events where we were inviting, calling the baking days, and we were inviting uh, clients, resellers, ingredient producers, uh, all the people, all the professionals from the business, with a specific theme, and then that was usually quite, I would say, very interesting for everybody. What's also important with our company is that we focus on innovation. We hold many patents that we will introduce to you or that we will remind you today. MF2S, alveoform, PPR that are related with either pre-rounding or molding. Yep. Our international presence. Our company relies on a lot into exports. Since 60% of our sales are done outside of France, on the 5 continents. So we have resellers and clients all over the world, whatever it is: Asia, Australia, Africa, Europe, US, Canada, South America. We have clients in Argentina, more specifics in like in Argentina and Djibouti, so everywhere in the world. Our strengths are a deep know-how of the business, of how bakery works, since we've been around in 1954, and we've been facing many type of different clients, from artisan with one shop to semi-industrial with very different needs. So we understand all the different type of problems and different type of issues that you can face in your challenge. We have, as Mark said, and as you will see, a broad machine range, from dividing from in all the different steps, and then flexibility, because our machines, and thanks to our broad machine range, we are able to address a lot of different type of dough, and also different type of shape of breads. Now that you can see some examples of the product that we do. So you have traditional baguettes, because we are a French company, but being so focused on the international business, we also do a lot of other products, such as hamburger buns, hot dogs, toast bread, ciabattas, that would fit in all the different type of clients, from artisan to retail shops to industrial bakery or F&B catering. Yep. And then just to introduce to you all the different machines, from the left to the right. That left side is artisan line, and then moving on the right is our more automatic lines. What's important with our machines, and because we want to bring you more than machines, is we want to bring solutions, not only one machines, but we think that machines are part of an environment, and then we need to understand it. So our machines are evolutives and modular, meaning that you can start with one part and then upgrade it depending on your need, and go with the flow. If you have, if your business is changing, your volume is changing, then you can come to us and add some parts. Without, as we said before, the machines are flexible, meaning that they can address different type of dough, whether they are fresh dough or fermented dough, with inclusion, without inclusion, and also different type of different shape of bread. And most of all, our machines are respectful of the dough, in the meaning that one of the main challenge of bakeries are moving from handmade bakery to automatic or more involving more machines, because sometimes you're afraid that your clients will be afraid that they will lose the artisan quality when they move to machines. So we actually strive to do machines that would be as respectful as possible of the dough. Meran is a team, but at his head we have Yannick Gérard, which is our CEO and who is a co-owner of the company and who's been in the company for more than 30 years now. So he is very knowledgeable about international business and about also all the techniques. And he is the one that you want to talk to if you have, I would say, complex reply on your needs. Then we have, including myself, a team of managers. Mark today that is in charge of Americas, UK, and Spain. He's fluent in English and Spanish. So Spanish speakers, feel free to contact Mark and he will be glad to answer all your questions. Then we have on the left, Christophe Wagner, who is in charge of Central and Western Europe. He's based in the east of France and is fluent in German. So German speakers, feel free to contact him for all your requests. He is also fluent in English, but he speaks German, so feel free to contact. Then we have in the bottom left, David de Vavrin, who is in charge of Africa and Middle East. So feel free to contact him. And myself, who is in charge of Asia. And I do speak Chinese, and I live there for more than 10 years. So feel free to contact me if you have this kind of need. Then afterwards, last is Xavier Le Benoit, who is our baking lab manager and our technical advisor. He is a former baker. He used to own bakery. He worked in international. He worked in London in different business. So he is very, very knowledgeable about our machines and also what's a bakery, what is bread, and he knows how to match both and make sure that the machine that we produce fit their needs, and he's there to advise you on the solution or to validate the solution that we decide together, and also make sure that the machine that will be installed correctly and that you will be follow up and that the machine will continue to do what you want it to do. Then afterwards, let's move to our scope of supply. As I was saying before, I want to stress the thing that there is things that we do and things that we don't. So mixing and baking we don't do this kind of product. So and we focus, our core business is dough processing, whatever it is, division in the different type of division that you can see on the screen, either it's hydraulic, volumetric, or gravity/no stress division, resting, molding, and rounding. So we have a wide range of product on those 4 steps of dough processing. So now that you're clear with, we can move ahead with the product. Let's first start with artisan baking range. Artisan baking range is, let's start with the hydraulic divider. For a start, I want to stress the issue that hydraulic dividers are usually, it's better to use them with fermented dough, meaning that it's either a slow fermentation or, but you need to use it with fermented dough. It's part of one of our concepts called the bake pod, and when you use fermented dough, then you can use those hydraulic dividers. Hydraulic divider, as the name means, is a hydraulic that is pushing a plate and dividing the dough that you put inside. You can put, depending on a different type, you can put from 5 kilo to 20 kilo in the tank. Yep. And then most common machine will be the 20 division divider. That is a division from the bottom when you have knives coming up and dividing the dough up to 20 kilo. So you can have 20 pieces of 1 kilo each maximum. It is usually bringing you more regularity, and it is used by artisans who will mold the piece either by hand or with the molder afterwards. I will go to the divider shaper afterwards. That is on the far right. The divider shaper has the same function as a division 20 division divider, but has on the side a grid holder that enables you to have on top of the 20 division. You can also use another function, is to have the dough that you put in the tank divided in the shape that you want. We have more than 100 different type of shape. So you can do square, you can do round, you can do any type of dimensions. And that's a machine that you can call it a 2-in-1. And then in the middle, you have what we call a press shaper, which is the same machine as a divider shaper, but who doesn't have the 20 division. So you will press the dough, so even the dough, and then press it with the same idea of the grid holder. So as we were saying before, hydraulic dividers were developed to give more efficiency, more regularity, and also more comfort to bakers, because when you start to have, I would say, high quantities, like more than a couple hundreds, couple thousands, it can be troublesome and tiring to have to do it by hand, and that's where hydraulic divider comes into play. What's also is interesting is you can have non-specialized baker operator in your bakery. So it's interesting for people who have more than one shops, because you know that you will have in all the shops, you can guarantee the regularity and the quality of your product. The machines come with many options to enhance to make them more efficient and more versatile. Since you are handling different type of dough, we won't go into details today because there is many, but they're all focused on giving you more efficiency and broaden the scope of the utility of the product. Yeah, and now I will leave the floor to Mark to show you a video of the dividers.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. So yeah, I will show you a video of the artisan system. So hold on a second, I will share my screen with you. Here it is, you can see it. So you can see the baker who is taking some block out of the proofer. So he puts the block of dough into the tank of the divider, and then he closes the lid, and he activates the machine to have a phase of a press to egalize the block of dough. And then he will take the grid holder down and raise the tank. And so the dough will come to be divided into the grid. So you have directly the baguettes You can see the other foam plate on the below. It's the white part. So after that, they can go straight to oven and with wonderful results.
Indeed.
Yeah, we will see another video with another grid just to show you. So this grid is kind of ciabattas. So it's the same process. You will press and divide directly with the grid. So those blocks were made in slow fermentation. So between 8 to 24 hours to 3 to 4 degrees in a proofer. That's what allows you to put them straight in the oven afterwards. So yeah, here are the results. Yeah, that's up to you. You can carry on.
Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. And so as Mark was saying, the hydraulic dividers are actually current, hydraulic dividers are rather a new trend in the last 10 years and are becoming more and more common and more used in the business. And we want to show you, including artisan system, one of our new baby for 2021, actually not one but two babies, which for us we consider a new generation of machines. That is, as you can see on your screen, the Stradivario and the little sister, the Div Smart. What's interesting, the main difference between the Stradivario and Div Smart and the previous generation that is Diva family is that first, the machines are automatic, so they work with a auto cycle, meaning that you don't need to be in front of the machine to control it. You can actually do two things at once, and then Mark will show you a video that makes you understand what I mean. What's also is very interesting is that we included in the machine a digital screen or a digital interface where you can where you are able to control with the Easymatic function the recipe settings. So before you had to check all the settings by hand, whether it was the pressure, the time, then that was manual. Now all the settings are preset in the machines, and the only thing you have to do is have the right grade that's prepared and call the recipe. So it's interesting in terms of regularity and also increasing the efficiency and making less error when you're producing the product. Another thing that we call Easy Track is that you can have access to all the production that was made on the day, and you can have access remotely to the figures. And also, you can have you can prepare all the maintenance of the machine remotely as well. For example, if your operators or your bakers forget to clean the machine, then you can block the machine, so they will have to clean it and maintain the good quality and the good conditions of the machine, which is interesting when you have non-specialized or you have many people working on the same machines. One last, I would say not last function, but what makes the difference between Stradivario and the Div Smart is a function that we call AutoTrad. AutoTrad is to say it shortly, an à-tout-pain system that was dedicated to do baguettes and that we decided to integrate in the lead of the machine for the Stradivario. meaning that when with the Stradivario you have a machine who have 3 ways dividing at the same time: the tank for the 20 division, the 10 division with the baguette, and also a third one with the grain. So you are able to change and go from one to another very quickly. The Div Smart has all the functions, but not this one. And then I will leave Mark for the video.
Yes, I will. I will show you the video of the Stradivario. So I will share my screen up. Here it is. So before starting, I just wanted to show you. So you can see on the lead the AutoTrad system, Frank told you about. So it's a 10 lines you can see. So those are knives getting out when you have to divide 10 baguettes. So in these videos, our baker have already selected the recipe settings on the digital screen. So it will straight move to the block of dough. All right, so let's start the video. So he's taking the blocks out of the proofer, where they have stayed between 8 or 24 hours at 3 to 4 degrees. You put the advofon plate and put some flour on it. So with the flour duster, an automatic one, so to prevent from the spatting flour everywhere. Then you put some flour on the top of the block to prevent from sticking on the lid. You close the machine and there is a press to equalize the block of dough, and the 10 knives will get out to divide the 10 baguettes. So after 10 seconds, you get 10 baguettes. So you put the plate directly on the infin belt of the oven, and then put another plate, which is included in the machine, and do the same process. So we usually work with scotch, but if your customer works with a plastic box, that's okay. It's no problem for us. It works as well. So we close the lid once again, and during this time, our baker can deposit the baguettes directly to be put in the oven. So the machine is working while our baker is working at the same time on the task. So it saves time, definitely. And so just open up the machine after, and you can see the other plate is ready with the 10 other baguettes. So the baguettes are put in the oven, and do the same process with 10 baguettes again. So this is Xavier Baker. So he takes the baguettes out, and you can see the very, very good results, shaped like by hand. So we can do square ends, but also round ends, and with a very good structure of bread inside. And that's it for the video of the Stradivario.
Okay. So as Mark showed you on with the Stradivario, the one of the interests is that you can have you only need one person to do what 2 persons were doing in the past. So it's quite an improvement. Then moving to another step is the proofing or the intermediate proofers. We have different type of proofers, manual proofers that are usually used by artisan, and that where you have the infeed and the outfeed were manual, meaning that all the transfer from one piece to another, one machine to another, will be all done by hand. Semi-automatic, that we call semi-automatic group, where you have manual infeed and automatic outfeed, who transfer the dough piece from the proofers, from the molders. And then automatic proofers, where everything is automatic, the in-feed and the out-feed, and the operation that at this stage has to be done is feeding the divider and getting the product at the end at the molder. What's important, and it also depends on the climate and it depends on your process, but one key of like quality product is resting the dough depending on the temperature, and as I was saying, depending on the process you have. All our proofers offers many options, and depending on the configuration you want, and as I was saying, depending on where you are, the climate, how you work. But we have hygiene kits, including UV lamps, ventilators, and extractor, because one of the issue that could happen with proofers if you're working with very hydrated dough is that the uh, the dough piece will stick in the pocket, and then you will not the dough will not be able uh, to exit, which is especially the case when you have automatic exit. And so we need to have a way to have the proofers kept ventilated. You also have flour duster that will help, also takes a little bit of the humidity, dusting flowers on the piece, and that's one help to avoid the dough piece from sticking in the pocket. And also a control panel that helps you controlling the machines if you're in the case of a group, so you can stay at the same point and control the machines. One last feature is that our pockets are made of Niltex. Usually or traditionally, the proofers, whatever they're manual or automatic, are made of felt, because the machine was this material is usually preferred by artisan or preferred by bakers because it is better. But we decided to use a material called Neltex that is better for drying and better for hygiene, and also better for cleaning because it's easy to take it out and easy to clean. Usually when you have felt, you need to change all your pocket, and that's not the cheapest option. This with Neotex, you just have to take it out and you can clean. It's quite easy. Uh, we will not show you specific videos on the proofers because you will see proofers afterwards in other videos in the automatic line. So I will go to the next step. Unless you have questions on that. Um, let's move to our big family of molders, because we do have, it's been our oldest product range. Company has been famous for that for decades. It's the molders. We have, and when I say decades, it really is that we have clients who have them for 10, 15, 20 years, and they go back to us and change parts. And or some of the machines have, I would say, never broke down. So we are very happy about it. And you can, if you have already sold some machine, you probably already know what I'm saying. We have two type of molders: the vertical one and the horizontal one. The vertical one is called the Traeger. It's a more recent molder. It was developed more recently. It's usually designed for artisans who have limited space and limited budget. It's because it is slightly cheaper than the Armor. Usually works with manual or semi-manual groups. The main difference is that you have, as you can see on the drawing, 3 laminating rolls, because the space that you use to laminate and to mold the dough is actually smaller. So you have to use more rolls. Construction is of course very sturdy. We have 12 millimeters structure that enables the machine to stay as it is and maintain all the settings for years and make sure that you will not have issues with your machines. Then to go with the Armor range, which is a horizontal molder. Main difference is that since it is horizontal, you have two laminating rolls, and you have, as you can see, much more space and much more time uh, to to mold the dough. Main thing is that it will cause the dough piece not to overheat or to increase in heat. So respecting to giving the dough more respect. Usually it is used by artisan or semi-industrial clients who want higher high-end quality products, who are actually very picky on quality. One other thing is that because of its construction and the option that comes with Armor, you can use it or you can reuse it when you have a group, automatic group. So you know that your investment, you will be able to keep it for very, very long time. As you will see in the next slide, both machines come with a wide range of equipment that are able to broaden the scope of the molders, which is not only a baguette molder, but can do with those equipment, but can do much more. You can do, of course, pointy baguettes, but you can also do shortbreads with this easy turn function. You can also do shortbread with this equipment. For example, let's say you have a requirement of 20-25 centimeters, and with this shortbread guide, then you know that you will stay in the settings that you actually did. And then last, the roll scoop, which enables you to slice a baguette into 2, 3, or 4 parts to make smaller pieces, which is interesting if you are addressing a certain type of clients. And then I will leave the floor to Mark to show you the video of the product.
Yes, thank you, Frank.
It's all right.
So yes, as Frank said, the Traeger is not only a baguette molder. You will see that in this video. The purpose was to show you the possibility of this machine. I saw some names and the participants which I know well and know this machine well as well, because you already sold some to your customers. So if you have experience to share with us on the comments, you can do it. Be glad to. It is said sometimes that it's the best molder in the world. So we're very proud of this in Marin. All right, let's start the video. So this is also the different breads you can make with it. So thin bread, short breads, baguettes, quarter of baguettes. Here you can see a thin bread dough. So it will shape, laminate into the 3 rollers and roll it, and then mold it. So to fit directly into the tins. So settings are very easy to adjust. It's the same with each operator. It's not a screw you have to unscrew. So it's quick, and you make sure that every products are the same, whatever the operator, whoever the operator is handling the machine. So you can see some baguettes deposit on couch. So very high quality, even with baguette with high hydration, with good structure. The molder doesn't destroy the structure. Here you can see slicing some thin bread dough into 4 parts to have some such kind of products. So we have an accessory doing that directly. So that was for the video of the trigger, and let me show you the armor. So I just pause the video. So just a quick reminder. Do you see the video? Hold on. I'll make sure you can see the video. Up. Here is the video. All right. So the armor was the first molder we made in 1954. So a long time ago, horizontal molder. So in this video, you'll see a particular type of armor with a stainless steel and a reception belt. So a little bit more for high volumes, but it's the same principle. So let's start the video. So you can see the baguettes with a very good regularity and very good structure inside. It says we've got a special roll to laminate the dough to prevent from destroying the structure. Here you can see some pullmans or
Mark, the video is stuck. Looks like
video is stuck. All right.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen again. All right. That's good. Okay. Let's go back.
Go back.
Here. You can see it? That's fine?
Yeah, we do. It works.
Oh, good. So those are very, it was a pullman, so 1.4 kilo breads with seeds. Here is Vienna's bread. And traditional baguettes with a high level of hydration. So as said before, it doesn't destroy the structure. You got very good result with it, as you can see on those photos. So the point up, just the accessory you put into the machine to have pointed end baguettes. So you don't have to do that by hand. So it takes time to do that by hand. So it saves time to the operator. And you can do also with half baguettes. That's something possible with very good results. The shortbread accessory, same thing. You just have to put it into the machine. It's in a few seconds. So here are the pullmans with the seeds, 1.4 kilos. Is the roll scoop Frank told you also about. So it will slice the baguette directly into 4, 3, 2 parts. So you have a bigger volume of production because instead of doing them one by one, you can do a baguette and slice it into 4 parts. So that's a technology you can propose. And Frank, that's up to you now.
Yep. Let's go back to the presentation. So after molders, sorry. Let's go to a different type of molder that we used to call rounders. One short thing is there is for rounders machine that we call conical rounders, which has been around in the business that we also do. But today we prefer to we decided to introduce to you or to do a focus on the eccentric rounder that we call a rotable. Main thing for this eccentric rounder is that it replicates, as Mark will show you on the video, it really replicates the movement that bakers will do by hand to do a bowl of a dough piece. So it works really well with rounded dough, with pizza dough, with brioche, with panettone. It works with panettone, so it works with inclusion. You can use dough with hydration up to 80%, sorry. And it has an output of up to 1,500 pieces per hour. One thing is we have 2 types, or we have 2 sizes, 78 and a 120. One that would go from 75 grams to 4 kilo, which will be the 120, and then another one that would go from 250 grams to 4 kilo. So it's a wide range of dough type, of dough weight, sorry. What's interesting with the machine is that you can use it as it is, but you can also link it with a volumetric divider. that we will introduce you afterwards. And you can also link it. I mean, linking it with a volumetric divider is very interesting when you consider having a line of pizza dough, dough balls. And in this case, then we even have a special version that's lower to allow the dough piece to actually goes well in the rounder. And then we have another type. I mean, you can link it with our non-stress divider that we call the Reopan. In this case, it's another type who has a bypass. It's a more complicated machine, but that's the same system. Uh, yeah. And then another thing is we have a machine that's actually quite unique that we call the roller duo, because on top you have a eccentric rounder, so a classic rotor ball, but in the bottom you have a molder that it's included, and that works really well to mold shortbread. Yep. Mark, if you want to show us the video, so.
Yes, I will show you the video, right. Okay, so before starting, just to show you, so you can see on the screen on the right, there's an exit belt of the volumetric divider. So it fed the molder, the rounder directly. But we have a lot of customers feeding the rounder by hand. So it's not something who have to be automatic. It can also be manual. All right, so let's start the video. So you can see the eccentric movement, like a friend told you. So it's like by hand on the table. So very soft. It doesn't destroy the structure. You got the white part can be either felt or a synthetic band if you have a sticky dough. And the results of the rounding is very good. You got very good shape and rounding. You don't have to touch them back. And here is a roller jaw, so it includes a short molder for shortbreads. So the baker is setting the machine to be on a roller jaw mold. So the principle would be the same. So the eccentric movement would be here to round the dough pieces. But after that, instead of getting out of the machine, they will go underneath the machine where molder is located. So there is a lamination and rolling, and then a molding. Cannot be done for shortbreads because we don't have any enough length to do baguettes or some kind of things. But for shortbreads, that saves you some times and some money, and yeah, some space in the ladder as well. So that was it for the presentation of the roller jaw and rotor ball.
Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. And as Mark was saying, the roller duo works great with the shortbread, especially if you want to do bigger pieces, like bigger shortbread. Yep, and also one thing is that the rounder, that it comes with as well many different options, like a flour duster or different additional settings to actually give you even more efficiency with the machines. So now moving on to our automatic bread lines, I would start with introducing the volumetric dividers that probably most of you know, but Meron's volumetric divider have a few specificity that it will be interesting to, is that it comes with two type of hoppers, one open, one pressurized, both being Teflon coated. The pressurized, so it works with fresh or fermented dough. We usually recommend pressurized hopper in any case, since it gives you more regularity to the product. Another thing is most of the volumetric divider in the business would come with a pre-rounding tile, which is a tile at the end that will make the dough piece into, or pre-shape the dough piece into a ball. What we decided to do at Meron, and that we have a patent for that, is a technology called MF2S system, which stands for pre-shaping without stress, which is uh, to make things a little bit simple. As a pre-rounding is that it doesn't make a ball, it makes a cylinder that gives you two key features. Uh, is first one is that it puts the glutinous system in the good direction, and second, it makes it a shape that it's easier to hold in the pockets. So that's actually quite interesting, and also you're very interesting when you have molding application afterwards in more complicated machines. So as we were saying, uh, one thing is for the volumetric divider, you can actually, with our technology and with our divider, you can go from open to pressurized hopper without changing the whole machine. So you can start with an open one and come back a few years later and ask for a pressurized one. No problem, and you don't need to change the rest of the machine. We decided to put it in the automatic line, since it is the base of a lot of automatic group, but also automatic lines, and it works for artisan bakers who have groups and also semi-industrial. For that, also we have another type that we don't introduce you today. It's called the Softy, which is the same system but more heavy duty and can take a little bit more quantity if we move when we move into bigger volumes. And as I was saying, it integrates very well with our automatic group, especially as you can see on the right side, when you have the MF2S, when you with the MF2S, the divider will actually charge directly the dough piece in the proofer, and you actually save some space. So that's a small detail, but can be interesting. Then moving on to the first group is the craft line. Craft line, as you can see, you see the three different parts: divider, proofer, and molder. One difference is that for craft line, we don't use a static proofer, but we use a dynamic proofer. Main difference is that in the dynamic proofers, the dough will change from pocket to another to give more strength to the dough, and that's the main characteristic. Also, another characteristic that you can see on the far right is that we usually use a conical uh, molder or rounder in this configuration to even give more strength to the dough. It works really well with a variety of bread, that's toast bread, sourdough bread, multigrain, and bread that you usually need more strength in it. Of course, it comes with a stainless steel structure to give it more durability. Yeah, and can be operated by one person alone. So now moving on to another line that's we call the Riopan that you saw earlier, and that is another type of division that is a gravity or no stress division, which is completely different from from the volumetric working with the piston. In this machine, there is no piston, but a different technology that you will see on the video. What's interesting is that you're able to work with a high hydration and also long fermented dough. You have a high weight accuracy because the machine head, actually, because as you can see on the drawings, on pictures, the head includes a weight, weight modules that will control the weight that you actually set in the digital interface. It's one of the main really key aspect of this line is that because of the type of division and the type of machine that you can put after the division head makes it perfect to work with a lot of different dough type and also different dough shape, and also go from one dough to another very quickly. So it's usually a favorite of artisan and semi-industrial who have a wide variety of products and want to move from one to another very quickly. So as you can see, it works with ciabatta, with focaccia, with baguette, with like traditional bread. It's very, very versatile machine. And also the machine being modular, it's a long-term investment that you will be able to upgrade. Yeah. So Mark, yeah, if you can
yes,
show us the
I will share my screen for the video. So I can see already some questions coming in on the current air part of Zoom. So keep going on. We will reply to these questions at the end. That will be easier, and that will allow us not to stop the presentation. So before starting the video, I just want to show you the elevator on the right. So it is another module that we can add to the Reopan line. Such kind of scene you can add later on if you want. So you can see it fitting the line, the hopper. So we got different size of hopper because different models of Reopan divider. It depends on the volume and the weight you want to do. So the principle of the line is to make a band of dough, a row. So it is divided by a star, what we call a star. It will divide a batch of dough. You will see it in a few seconds. Here it is. So it divides a batch of dough, and it is then laminated to have a perfect band of dough. So it then comes into a waiter. So if you selected 500 grams, it will weigh 500 grams and then cut the dough piece with a guillotine. On this configuration, you have an eccentric rounder. Frank told you about this earlier. You can see it here. The particularity is the bypass. So you can either choose to go into the rounder or go underneath it, meaning not rounding the product. If you want to do baguettes, for example, you don't have to round the products. You just want to go straight into the molder. So it goes underneath the rounder. Here, we want to make short breads. So it's good to round them first before entering the molder. So it's the same molder that you've seen earlier, now more. It's just a HV version, meaning high volume. So you can see them making some small breads, short breads. And that's it for the Reopan.
Okay, so let's go back to the presentation and to actually to add what Mark was saying. One of the main interests of the Reopan is that it combines it combines artisan quality with high volume or semi-industrial volumes, and it's really very versatile machine. Usually we have clients who have high volumes but want to keep the quality, and they go for this type of machine. Then moving on to moving on to the next line. Sorry for this. That we call the flexi line. Flexi line is clearly a baguette line, but also baguette portions. It's a much heavier machine. It looks like a group, but it's a much heavier machine. We have different configuration: the 1.5, 1.8, 2.5. That stands for the rate. It's comes with starting with no stress-free elongation of dough piece with our MF system. We have multiple configurations available depending on the production volumes. The main from 1,800 pieces to 2,500 pieces per hour, but not for 1 hour. What you need to understand with the flexi line is that it can go for 10, 16 hours with the component that we put inside, and especially with the molders that we have different type of. We have the flexi line can come with the Armor Eye, the tray form, pro forms, tray forms and pro form being different type of molders who gives, that we select depending on the volumes and depending on the type of product, the dimensions of the baguette that you want and what you want to do. If you want to do small breads or small dough piece, or if you want to do only baguettes, and also if you want to do, if it comes also with a automatic loading exit, which makes things easier when you want to load your production into the oven right after. So it is really a system for high volume baguette, and I will leave Mark to show you the video of this flexi line.
Yes. So as said Frank before, so the purpose of this webinar was to show you the whole range of Meran machine. We don't have a range that is much large. We don't do mixing, we don't do oven, we don't do proofers, but we do dough mechanization, and we have quite a deep range in that. Just as, for example, molders, I think we got like 7 or 8 molders different. So it allows you to be as close as possible.
Mark, I think the video is not starting.
Yeah, I know. That's normal.
Okay.
I didn't start it. No, that's fine. So yeah, the flexi line is so we got different models, as Frank told you. So this is defined by the model of molder mainly, that will define the model of the flexi line. So we can start the video. That's the video of a flexi line 1.8. So it is fed by an automatic proofer, but will focus on the molder. So you got a first molding calibrated at like 20 centimeters to make sure we have a lot of regularity. We have a small rest, then a second molding. Then we got the rolling net to make sure it's well aligned before entering the third molding phase. So here it is. So you got the baguette getting in. It's really a stick. So you can have a long one. We can go up to 70 centimeters baguettes. And on this version, we got an automatic deposit on trays. So here is with the roll scope. So it sliced the baguette into 4 parts, or it can be also 5 parts, as you can see on this part. So it's very regular, and it allows you to have a much bigger production. Instead of doing those parts one by one, you do it 5 by 5, and you deposit them on tray. So yeah, here is the video of the flexi line. That's it.
Yep. So going back to the presentation, what we just show you with the with this flexi line is we usually have the questions from our clients is, yes, why do I need a flexi line? because I can do short breads, or I can do very short dough piece with other machines or other equipment from a company. But the we usually the flex you need this kind of machine, because the more volume that you are going into, the more regularity and the more precision you need, and then you need to have much more complex equipment. Then moving on to the rolling line. Rolling line being, as the name speaks for, is roll bread, small bread. So you can do it's based on a piston inside, and then a rounding in two steps. First rough molding, and then a more precise molding. The specificity of the machine is that it will work with a wide weight range, but in smaller or small pieces from 20 to 280 grams. So it's especially adapted for a certain type of smaller dough piece, smaller balls. If you want to do small round bread, small sandwich bread, hamburger buns, hot dog buns, flatbread, brioche, all this type kebab. It's very versatile machine. Uh, it works with a very high weight accuracy, and also, as you could see, uh, on the top has a capacity per hour that really enables you to tackle high volumes. Uh, and also, it comes with today we only show you a machine that has two bends, but keep in mind that the machine can go up to 6 or even 8 bends, which multiplies the volume that you can actually do. And also, it comes with different configuration that would either be a work-built and a molder, or a molder that you can see on the right. That we call the polycombi, and that you will see in the video. And that includes a molder that will help you laminate the dough balls to make it the hamburger buns or small sandwich bread. And I will leave it to Mark to show you the video now.
Yes, I'll show you the video now. All right. So just before starting, so it was the video. The configuration of this line is with a molder. So it's what we call polycombi. That's the name of the model. So you got divider, rounder, and then the molding if you want to do other products. So a baker is setting up the return bell. So I'll show you after. So you select the recipe settings on the machine on the digital screen and start the machine. So dividing rounding will be made in two phases, like Fran said before. We got very high finish. It's very good rounding. If you just want a dough ball, you just let them go in through the molder without shaping them again, and it returns on a return bell to the operator, which is at the divider rounder. So you don't have to move. You can work on your own. It's very accurate in weight, so we're talking about a few grams. And here is our baker adjusting the molder to make flatbreads, like kebab bread, for example. And on this part, you will see some short breads, like quarter of baguettes, for example. So they are molded by the molder and returning to the operator. And here it is for the video.
Okay. So as you can see, the machine, when we talk about round dough, is very versatile, and makes it very interesting for bakers who want to tackle and want to address food and beverage activities such as hotel, restaurants, and also food service clients such as hospitals, schools, and retirement homes. Yep, to give you an idea of that. And then let's move to another line that we call the aquapan. Aquapan because it works with highly hydrated dough and also long fermentation. As you can see, the aquapan line is very wide, from 1,000 to 9,000. Mark will show you a video of a 2,000 configuration. Technically, the way it works is that you have an infeed belt, you have disc and guillotine, because here what's important is the size of the dough, the width of the dough piece and the length of the dough piece. And that's the way you set the machine through the digital interface. What's also interesting is that the machine is very modular. You can go from I won't say simple, but simple machines to very, very complicated and fully automatic, from the infeed to the outfeed and the loading before oven. So the family, and so come to, if you have special requirements, then just come to us and then we will work something out. Yep. Then I will leave Mark to show you the video of the aquapan.
Yes, I will. Just to let you know, those kind of lines, we sometimes have some in our baking lab. So we have customers coming in to test the machine with the dough. So this is something that can be done to assure them that it works. So here we are for the video of the aquapan. So we'll start the video. 2000, yeah. So first we have to make the band of dough and calibrate the height. So we with the multi-roller, so it coming on and off the dough to make sure it doesn't destroy the structure. You got the disc cutting the width of the products, and then the guillotine to cut the length. So it's very accurate in dimensions. The products are not weighted, but the dimensions are very accurate. And then you can just grab them back by hand, or we have other versions with the automatic deposits, different deposits, and put them on coach and still put them in the oven after. That's it for the principle. Up.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go back to presentation. So that's it for the aquapan. Yeah. And last line for today is the scoring line, which is a automatic bread scoring machine that can do either straight or slanted scoring. The idea of scoring machine is that it's easy to be regular and regular and precise for when you do it by hand, or when you do a couple hundreds. But when you do thousands and thousands, then your baker might start to be tired and then lose precision. And so usually we advise to have a scoring line. What's interesting with the scoring line is that you have multiple scoring patterns, and for that I really encourage you to come to us and come to our R&D department, because they will define with you, based on your requirements, the best solution, because it has immense type of patterns available, depending on your process, depending on the machine that you have before and after. It's really a complicated part. So come to our R&D. And of course, the main aspect is to improve the regularity, being a automatic machine, and also keeping the look of the finished product in a concept of having thousands and thousands of product to do. It's easy to operate, can be operated by one person, and that is not an expert baker. So you can stay with an operator All right, so I will leave, and then you can do 15 trays in 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I will leave Mark show you the video.
Yeah, I'm here, the video guy.
Yeah. Last
All
one
right.
for today, Mark.
Yeah, I'm sad. Yes, it's the last one. That's fine. We'll do others. So here is the scoreline. So you will see the operator putting the trays with the baguettes into the machine, and directly the trays came out already scored. So as Frank said, you can do like 150 baguettes in 1 minute 30. So it saves a lot of time, and also saves, it prevents injuries, because doing that all day, operators are less and less able to do it. So that's why we made this machine. All right.
All right, so let's go to the presentation. And today was this scoring night was the last machine that we would introduce to you. So now we will go into the Q&A sessions.
Yeah.
I think that we had a few.
Yeah, I saw some questions. We had a questions from Mohamed asking about the divider shapers. So mainly the concept of slow fermentation. So he say if you shape the baguette with the divider shaper, you don't have to use a molder after. So that's correct. You don't have to use a molder after. Some of our customers don't have any molders in their shop. They're only doing breads with the divider shapers. Yet, if you want to do, like for example, standard baguettes, I mean long one, with a real molding, I mean lamination and rolling and then molding, you still need a molder for that. So it depends on the products you make. But yeah, the dough has to be pre-fermented before entering the divider shaper if you want to cook them after. So you have to leave them between 8 to 24 hours in the cold room to at 3 to 4 degrees. So whenever you need bread in your shop, just take out the block of the dough of the proofer, and in 30 minutes you got fresh bread. So you got fresh bread all day long. So you don't have to do a lot in the morning and having products left at the end of the day, or having missing sales because you didn't do enough baguettes. So that's one point. I can see also a question from Marika, was say hi, who was asking on the FlexiLine. So how do you handle the seam on the FlexiLine discharge with some product blowout? No, so the seam, what you call the seam, yeah, I can see what it is, I think. So in the first molding phase, there is enrolling. So you can adjust the enrolling you want, if you want to tighten it or not. And on the discharge, there is a fall. So what we have is a V-gate. So you can see like this. The baguettes come into the V, and then the V opens. So it's you have a smoother fall. So we don't have products blowing out on those kind of machines. That's not a problem we've met, and we've selling quite a lot, even abroad. We have Pierre.
Questions about scoring unit.
Yeah, from South Africa. Well, say hi as well. So your scoring unit, can this be inline and automated? Yeah, that's possible. Our basic version is one module, but we already did it online as well. So yeah, yes, that's something possible. We need to have the information of customers of what's coming before, and adjust the height of the machine and everything. But that's definitely something possible.
But please, come in this case. Usually, we need to have all the details in hand about the product to be able to come back to you with a proper solution.
Exactly. And yeah, I see another question, private one. Yeah, so that's possible for you to come with your customers in our baking lab. Some of you already did that. I saw some of you. what we need to do first is make sure we can make sure we have the machines to handle your customer's project. So have the details of the product, make sure customer is aware of the price budget, more or less. And once everything is done, we can have your customer's test is due in our baking lab. So we make sure we always have machines available. Not always all machines, but it depends on what we have on the T moment. But yeah, that's something possible. All right then.
Another question from Mohammed about the baguette in the divider shaper. Just Mohammed, the length is decided by the size of the tank. Tank being 36 centimeter
by 48.
So usually what we advise is that if you want, you can stay on 36, but at the end you can actually elongate it a little bit if you want longer baguettes.
Yeah, so exactly. Usually our customers do 36 centimeters, but because 48, the width of the products is only 3.6 centimeters, so not so long. Pierre is asking if we use trays on the scoring line. So yeah, customer have to have motorized trays that have a frame to be able to motorize them. And
Vivian
can they be adjustable with the operator height? Yeah, I think so. This should be seen with our R&D department, but yeah, we always adjust the height of the conveyors to make sure operators doesn't have injuries. Other questions from Vivian, who say hi as well. Vivian has been working for Merin at a trade show, and it's been a long time we haven't seen him. So he was asking the maximum dough hydration with Stradivario, oil spray on it. Do we advise oil spray on it? So the maximum dough hydration, I'm not sure about this. I know we're doing baguettes like a 74% hydration rate. It always depends on the flour you're using, but you know that much better than me. And oil spray, yeah, that's something that can be done, but we don't do it when we work on flat trays. But some of our customers put some old spray in the plastic box, because plastic box has more humidity than flat trays. And the blades of the Stradivario, I don't know yet how often you have to change them. I don't think that's something you have to change often, you know. That's a long-term machine, so you don't have to change them every year for sure. We have a question from Laura, who's asking Laura.
Yeah,
what kind of machine is best for round pieces of 1.8 kilo and 90% humidity? Oh, so that's
what do you mean? That one thing is, what do you mean by round piece? Is it a dough block that will be redivided, or that you are doing a piece of bread that is 1.8 kilo and
yeah,
that
we
will
have
remain as it is? For that, feel free to contact us. Depending on the...
But the rotable can do it. The rotable can round up to 4 kilos. Okay. So the 90% humidity, we have some tools to prevent sticking on the rotable module. But yeah, we still need to see with our baker the kind of dough it is, the kind of flour, because 90% humidity on hydration on a Canadian flour is not the same as 90 humidity on the European flour. So you can send us if you want a video of your dough, and we'll watch it all.
Yeah.
And one last question from Pierre. So on the scoring machine as well. Again, you mentioned flatbread. So will this include naan breads and other Eastern type breads? Oh no, so that was not on scoring. I think that was on the rolling line, I think, because they were doing like kebab breads, flat breads. Naan breads, yeah, that's the same type of dough, so it can be done, I think, with this kind of machine. Still, this is something to see with our baker.
Yeah.
Frank introduced you the team, the Meron team, and that's for one purpose. It's because when you come to us with a project, we always watch with our colleagues what's the best solution for this project. We have Michael, who is our head of the R&D department. We have Mr. Gerard, the CEO. We have Xavier Baker, and we all work together, give our view, and see what would be working the best. So yeah, that's why we encourage you to let us know about the different projects your customers might have or you might have, and we'll be glad to help.
Yep.
Well, I think we will close the webinar now. So thank you all for attending it. It was nice to show you our Mirror Ranch, and thank you, Frank, for your presentation. It was nice.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, it's also to finish. Just if you want to have more information and see other videos, that I encourage you to follow us either on our website, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, all different platforms where you can have other videos of the product that we introduced you today, and also call or email your sales manager. That is, yeah. And
I will send you an email, all of you guys, with the replay of this webinar. So do not hesitate to reply to me by emails with your suggestions, improvements we can make, because we're gonna plan other ones, as I told you. So next one will be in end of March and will be dedicated to divider shapers. So if you want to become an expert in divider shapers, I will be animating the webinar. So I will send you the link to register if you're interested. And if you have any idea of other range or other theme that we could tackle in a webinar, feel free to let us know, and we'll think about it. And that's it. Thank you all once again, and take care of yourself. Have a good day.
Have a good day, and see you in another
webinar.
Thank you all. Thank you.